everybody, and welcome back to my channel. I am Dorenthea, and we are on chapter 7 of Next 4 Steps to Get Unstuck and Walk into Purpose. Chapter 7 says, it's not all about you. Now, I know that that's sometimes a hard pill to swallow, because it's in our human nature to want to be served, and everybody give to me instead of us wanting to give to others. Now, for other people, though, I have to admit that it is easier than it is for some. But for the most part, we like to be served. It's nice to be served. It's nice to be pampered and have our needs catered to. But in my book, It's Not All About You, I talk about in this chapter what it's like to be a blessing to others, because our blessing is tied up into being a blessing to someone else. So when we give to others, and then we open up the door for God to give back to us, because he said that we will reap what we sow. And I'm reminded of a story when I was a little girl, and my grandfather, who is the father to 17 children, yes, by my grandmother, the same woman, they had 17 children. And so they had this huge home across the street from where I grew up. And my grandfather, he had this huge garden of tomatoes and greens and green beans and corn to feed his large family. And so one day, after I got married and I had my children, I was living back at home for a while my husband was in prison. And so I saw my grandfather. He was in the garden by himself, picking the greens and green beans and corn and potatoes and tomatoes. And I thought to myself that I would go help him, just to spend some time with him. And so I went over there and I got in the garden and started picking the vegetables with him. And I wasn't expecting anything in return. I just wanted to help him and just spend some time with my grandfather. But a few days later, my mom had gave me a small sum of money that my grandfather had gave to her to give to me, just to say thank you for helping him in the garden. And like I said, I wasn't expecting anything, but so it was a nice surprise to be blessed financially in return. In Ecclesiastes 11:1 says, to cast our bread upon the waters, for after many days we will find it again. And what that means, I like the way the Message Bible puts it. It says, be generous, invest in acts of charity. Charity yields high returns. So in other words, that when you give to someone else, that it yields a high return. But at the same time, we shouldn't give to others or do good just to expect something in return. We should do it because we want to be a blessing to someone else. And then Galatians 6:9 says, don't get tired of helping others. You will be rewarded when the time is right, if you don't give up. And so I want to encourage you today to continue being a blessing to others, even though you may feel like you're always the one who's doing the giving, and it seems like that other person never gives back anything in return. But even if they don't, know that God sees your reward. He sees what you do in secret. And the Bible says that he will reward you openly. So part of walking in our purpose is being a blessing to others. And then when we are a blessing to others, and then God, he opens doors for us. He gives us favor. and he blesses us and gives us the desires of our hearts. So I hope that you received something from today's teaching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.